Hey everybody, this is Smashing Game Time. We are three brothers that go through the release windows of yesteryear for video games. I am your host, Nick. Down kitty corner or caddy corner, depending on where you're from. That is my other brother. Who are you?
Oh, I am Jacob. I'm Jakey boy.
Don't call him Jake, though. He fucking hates that. And then
I hate that.
to my left, he's caddy corner or kitty corner from Jacob. Jacob.
I don't know if I want to be either one of those. I'm Josh, but why you guys sound so like robotic? Like
it's kitty corner. Like I think that's a Wisconsin, Northern Illinois thing. Because everyone up there, when I was living up in Chicago, everyone up there said kitty corner.
I don't hear anyone saying it up here. I mean, like, boomer alert.
I think Iowa might. I think it might be the cutoff is like that Iowa line.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick to my Midwestern roots and say, okay, let's move on.
Caddy corner. Hey everybody! Today we are doing Q2 of 2010. It's a big one, and then later today I'm gonna be doing a speed cap for the sleeper hit. I think we can call it a cult classic at this point. Alan Wake.
I mean, it got a remaster. I'd say it definitely had a cult following.
It got multiple remasters at this point.
That is true.
Didn't they talk about like making like a movie or a show?
I don't know about a show, but I know the second one's coming out, and I know they're like making it part of the Controlverse. I could see Remedy like making all their stuff movies though, but it's tricky because all of their games are kind of inspired by movies, so it's kind of like Uncharted becoming a movie, even though Uncharted was inspired by Tomb Raider and Indiana Jones. So it's like it kind of becomes a hat on a hat at some point.
Hat on a hat.
A hat on a hat. For those who don't know, we are now part of the Trident Network. A great family of podcasts. Go ahead and check out some of our brother and sister podcasts. You can still find us on all the podcast channels. What channels? No, podcast. What's the word I'm looking for here?
Programs? I don't
know.
You had me at a loss. You were supposed to.
Here it is. Here it is. You can still find us on all your favorite platforms, podcast platforms. Say that five times fast. Please rate and review us
once.
Say it once. Rate and review us. Apple and Spotify are two that I know of that you can do that. I think Google allows it too. 5 stars is the recommended number. If you do 4, that's fine too. They both start with an F, so I can understand how you might get those two confused, but 5's preferred.
Fun fact about the Spotify one, before you can review, it actually makes you listen to like an episode or two.
Really?
Does it?
Yeah, because I tried to get on there and I saw there was reviews available. I was like, oh, I just want to check it out and see it. And I clicked it and it said, oh, you're not able to review this just yet. You listen to a couple episodes before you're able to review. And I was like, oh, that's actually quite interesting, because then you can't like bomb somebody's like podcast. Like, oh, you don't like that person? I'm going to give them 1 star. Like, no, it requires you to at least attempt it and be like, okay, I listened to like 2 episodes. I guess it was okay. I'll give them a 3-star. They can do a little better.
So the fact that they can do that, but Steam can't prevent people from review bombing yet, is kind of ridiculous. Considering Steam's been going at this for how long now?
Dude, they don't care. they have the population. They have the traffic. It's the main hub for all gaming online.
They're like, we don't care if you review bomb. We're just happy that you're here. We love you guys.
They got their Vince McMahon going on.
I sent that meme to somebody today. So Netflix is doing a reality show Squid Game, like a real life Squid Game. Like people aren't going to actually die, but they're doing.
That's not real life Squid Game, man.
Exactly. It's dark because it's like, did you guys not get the point of the show? It's that the people up top are bad and the people fighting for the money are like. Oh, come on, Netflix.
Let me guess. Is Mr. Beast, is he hosting it?
I was just going to say the same thing.
I was talking to a friend about this. I was like, who hosts this show? Because if you're the host, you're the bad guy. And they were like, oh, they probably do like an AI voice, kind of like The Circle does. So I was thinking it'd either be like that or it'd be like Legends of the Hidden Temple where they had Olmec. It would just be somebody in a mask. And you figure since Masked Singer is so popular that's something that would resonate with people for some reason, because people like mysterious masked people who sing at them.
So this brings up 2 great questions then. One, and this might be random, so you can ignore it if you want. Where does Mr. Beast get all of the money? Like, I see all of his videos where he's like, I'm going to give you $100,000. And it seems like he does it like every other video. And it's like, dude, where are you getting this money from?
It's like endorsements.
He sold 2 burgers. that pays for those.
2, where's Netflix going to get this money since they're, upping the price on everything, and then people are like leaving left and right, and they can't even get their production value out of their shows other than Stranger Things.
Well, for those who don't know, Netflix is in dire times right now, and they've actually started cutting people on the lower end.
Yep.
But then
they're cutting like their animation, groups are actually getting cut.
And I'm kind of worried because there are some animation shows there that I really like Inside Job is so good. Which one did you say?
Castlevania.
Castlevania really good. I think Castlevania finished though, didn't they?
I think they did, but I thought they were going to do like a spin-off series.
Yeah, there's actually a spin-off series that was announced.
I need to watch Castlevania. I hear it's really good.
It is. So, honestly, it's really good.
Oh, what I don't get is they're making like more live action anime, and you're seeing how they all flopped.
Cowboy Bebop. I think we talk about this like every other episode or almost every episode.
Yeah, we have actually, because I think last time we talked about that and One Piece and
it's just ridiculous that Netflix is cutting all that talent, and now they're like, live action Squid Game for you normies. Come get some money.
You know who's eating them up right now, though?
Who?
Disney and HBO. They'll take everything out of them.
I think Disney's up there, but I think who's really eating them right now, first of all, is Apple, because a major motion picture from a streamer hasn't won Best Picture until this year when Apple did it with Coda. And Netflix has been trying to do that for a few years now. I think the closest they got was Roma 2 or 3 years ago. But that has to be eating them. And then also HBO Max, like with them using all those WB movies and having them stream day and date, that brought in a lot of people. They're still nowhere near Netflix because Netflix has a really good base. But Netflix started fucking around and finding out. They're like, hey, all you people sharing passwords, we're cutting that. And people were like,
on top of that, we're going to bring in ads. Like, let's just face it. That's the one thing that made Netflix stick out between all of them was they are the first one to come out with no ads.
I don't mind the ads because they're still going to have the no ads level.
But they're going to increase the price, and you know that.
They'll increase the price, but like I have no ad Hulu, and that is probably my favorite streamer.
I agree 100%.
Because they have FX. They have FX. Hulu's really good about limited series, like they did. They did Normal People, which is just like a sex romp that was really good. They did Little Fires Everywhere, which was a good, like, the haves and have-nots. It was a show about this rich family adopting this baby of this Asian woman in the neighborhood and, like, the whole, like, how it tore apart the town. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. That's why Hulu, they get my paycheck at the end of the month.
What paycheck?
Hulu. Yeah, what paycheck?
I'm still waiting to get paid for this.
Damn it. We talked pre-show about all the Summer Game Fest stuff. Sounds like you guys still got some catching up to do. A few of the highlights for me, and I told you about them beforehand. The 2 games that are stemming from the Inside and Limbo guys breaking apart were revealed. So I think it's Somerville and Cocoon. Both look amazing. Cocoon looks like it's playing with some puzzle elements with like different colored cocoons and how they reenact with the environment. Somerville just looks like a nice little narrative with a family trying to escape an alien attack. It's the little 2D/3D like areas that we're used to from those guys. I think those look good. Starfield, they did some play. They did some. Starfield is the new space travel, space exploration game from Bethesda. Think Fallout or the Elder Scrolls in space with a touch of No Man's Sky.
I feel like that's familiar for some reason. I don't know why.
Like as soon as I said, "Oh, there's 1,000 planets," I was like, "Didn't this game come out like 5 or 6 years ago?"
So yeah. I saw that's the meme right now. Is like they go back and talk about the big games like Fallout, Oblivion. See that mountain back there? You can climb that. And then they went to Fallout 4, over 10,000 customizable things and settings and all that. And then it went to that and it said there's over 10,000 planets.
There's over 10,000 planets, and only 2 of them have things on them to do.
His planet level is over 10,000.
I feel like it's gonna be washed. I don't know.
I don't understand the fascination. I think this is something that Borderlands started when Borderlands was like, we have 1 million guns, and like all the business people were like, well, hey, Borderlands has 1 million guns. What do you guys have? And the Starfield people were like 20 years, 10, 15 years later, 10,000 planets.
We have an RPG.
We have Hulk.
We have stuff.
I don't understand. I feel like less is more, and I feel like that's why indie games are kind of like hitting their
Taking
stride
over?
right now, because AAA is like, we got to give them more. They need more. The people want more, and really, we just want good stuff, not more. I pause for dramatic effect. That won't play in the audio version really well.
Well, either way, I agree 100%. But I don't know, in my opinion right now, and just based on what they've done so far, is actually doing better than I thought they would.
I mean, we'll
Capcom.
see. We'll see. The Xbox.
Capcom?
Oh, Capcom. Okay. Yeah, I think you're right.
I mean, yeah, with Resident Evil 3, it was, the fans did not get exactly what they wanted, but you have to give them credit for everything they've given us between RE2, Village, and the future content of Reverse, RE4 Remake, and the DLC for Village.
I'm still waiting for Reverse. It's in my Steam thing. It's like, hey, it's not out yet.
We're almost there.
It's almost there. You know what else had a really good showing that I was super surprised? Like, everything I've listened to, all the stuff I've read, people are really digging Street Fighter 6.
Yep. It looks great.
It looks great. They've only... Are they only doing... They're only doing like 8 or 10 characters, right, Jake? They're like... They don't have a lot in there.
Yeah, I don't have a lot now. And some people are questioning, like, there's a certain character in the game that people are just like, where are they?
I saw that
I
Guile
don't
was
remember
back.
what the character was, but yeah, like they want more. They like it. People want more.
I mean, it's still an early production though, isn't it? It's not like 100% done. It's like
It's
like
still...
it's not egg gold. It's like borderline gold.
It's...
I mean, I think it's like they're just kind of like adding stuff. I think it was just a teaser, like, okay, hey, we have this going on. But I mean, that's kind of... I think they're on the same boat as that new Riot fighting game that's supposed to come out soon.
Oh, right. Speaking of Riot, the other thing I saw is all the Riot games are going to Game Pass.
Yeah.
Every
Actually,
Riot game.
they're supposed to put every damn Riot game. It's like everyone's kind of just like, how's that gonna work? How are you gonna play League of Legends on the console?
They were free already to begin with, right?
Yes.
So really, what you're paying for is the skin, like
It's kind of because you get every damn character in every game with that pass.
So then what are you?
It's just...
So then what's the season pass giving you then? Are you just getting skins for those different characters?
Yeah, I think so.
Jesus.
Like,
Wait,
I can understand like Valorant and
Auto chess is on there, right? Or not auto chess?
and the fighting game TFT.
Takes-
I'm not sure. TFT does not need to be on there.
It's crazy to me. Like, Game Pass is like fucking going right now. Like, Game Pass is where Netflix was about 12 years ago, or about 10 years ago.
Sony's gonna have to literally pull something out of their ass to be able to keep up with Nintendo's. They're not doing a good job.
Oh, you mean Microsoft's or?
Well, it's like Sony. Sony's revamped their whole entire thing, right?
Yeah, and it's bad. Like, it's very...
Yeah.
The messaging around it's very confusing. There's no consistency, like, based on what consoles you're getting or what games.
And if you were ahead of time and bought extra stuff to keep your PlayStation Plus going without going through the new system, they basically canceled all that and then told you that if you want to keep it, you have to go back in and pay for all what you just paid for, basically.
So here's the issue with Sony. Sony has all these great third-person game, like story-driven. Sony thinks they're HBO in the late 90s, early 2000s. They're like, we have The Sopranos, we have The Wire, fuck you. We don't have to do this shit. We are HBO, we're not TV. I think that's really what it comes down to.
That's a really good point.
What's everybody playing? So I've been tried and true, still playing Fortnite. New season's great. I also Game Pass just had Disc Room added. For those who don't know what Disc Room is, I showed Josh a video the other day. Basically, you're in a room and you have to dodge these discs. It's time related, so you're trying to get the best time in the room, and the rooms are crazy. You have these boss fights where you have to get these pickups to hit the boss. It's a lot of fun. Look it up. It's free on Game Pass. I'm enjoying my time with it. It's one of those games where you can play it for 15 minutes and just shut your brain off and then call it a night. It's a lot of fun. What you guys got?
So TFT new set came out. Are almost diamond, so that's pretty dope. It's probably the fastest I've gone to diamond. Brawlhalla just announced their world tournament in Atlanta. I'm excited for that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. No really new games that I've been playing lately.
Dog days of summer, baby.
Dog days.
So I've been attempting to knock out Resident Evil 4 on professional to 100% my Steam. Yeah, I'm literally on the last half of the island.
You said Resident Evil 4?
Yeah.
Oh, the island.
Yeah, the
is so bad.
Krauser boss is probably the hardest on professional.
Believe it or not, he was actually fairly easy compared to running when you meet, was it Brad in the helicopter? Or whoever is the guy in the... Charlie, maybe?
I forget the helicopter guy's name in that.
Mike.
His name's Mike.
So that whole
Yeah.
scene where I literally died 15 times getting through it.
Oh, it is hard because that part where you have to you can kind of angle yourself around the turret.
Literally, the first and second turrets kept killing me.
The QTE in that fight, I remember being a big pain in the ass. Like, I remember dying by his knife. Not even in the middle of the gameplay, but the fucking cutscene where you have to throw your knife up or something like that.
Fun fact. Oh, you're talking about the first time you run into Krauser.
I think it's the second time because it's still before he gets his arm.
Well, no, but you said when you throw his knife up, your knife up in the air. I think you're talking about the QT when you first run into him, and then the.
Oh yeah, he throws the knife at you, and you have to dodge it.
It's a very fast one because it's and if you're we're looking away, then you turn back. Oh shit, Leon's on the ground dead.
Fun fact for those who don't know. Your knife is more powerful in the Krauser fight than any other gun.
Really?
I mean, if you have the fully upgraded, I think it's equivalent to that, but your knife does more damage to him.
I think that's canon. That's canon right there.
It's very canon.
Anything else, Josh?
No, that's it. That's my fun fact of the night.
Ooh.
Fun fact of the night.
Quick fun fact, I have been playing Iron Harvest again. They put out their world map mode. Lots of fun. If you haven't checked out Iron Harvest in a minute, well worth it. All right. What do you guys say we get to the games?
Let's do it.
Q2. Do it. All right, 2010 Q2. Here we go. Starting out April 13th, we have, which I think this is probably my second favorite game in the series. This is Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell. Conviction.
Blah.
Blah.
A beautiful sequel to an already beautiful game. I mean,
I remember the movement in this being so silky.
yes.
Like you could just move and then what's the quick shots called?
Quick shots.
Where you would tag 2 or 3 guys.
Oh yeah,
and it automatically kill them.
Oh god, that's gonna bother me now.
I remember because Conviction was in development hell for a while because this was originally supposed to be very different. It was kind of Bourne-esque, more Bourne-esque. Like Sam Fisher was going to be a homeless man, and you were going to have to use more things in the environment to beat up bad guys. And they completely changed it. It plays a lot more like Conviction. It's just faster. It's a faster Conviction. I don't know if I think they did away with the screen. So in older Splinter Cells, you had a screen with how many kills, or if you try to zero it out, kind of like the old Hitman 2. You were trying to zero everything out. I think they got rid of it for this one because a lot of it was kill based on this.
By the way, that feature you're looking for is called the Mark and Execute.
Mark and Execute, great name too.
It is a very fantastic name.
Did they have an active reload, or did they? I think they might have skipped the active reload, but
They skipped the active reload.
The cover in this, taking cover in this game was amazing because all you had to do was if you're in cover, and you can kind of see it if you're watching the video version of this. If you were in cover, you could point to something else that was a cover across from you, and then hit a button and it would switch over.
I'm kind of getting some Division vibes from this gameplay.
I get that.
I can see that.
It's probably an older version of that engine.
Yeah.
I remember the Division being really upset that it was a looter shooter.
Mm-hmm.
I was way more into the Division when I thought it was just one of these, or oh hey, if you headshot a guy, they're dead. It looked way cooler at that point to me.
And in my opinion, one weird aspect, but it adds to the gameplay for this one that they did was there was no lockpicking or hacking in this.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think what they made up for it in all the gameplay as far as like the actiony type feeling, because this wasn't your typical Splinter Cell of going in all sneakily. Like you just seen this firefight here, it was guns blazing. Like come on, it does not get any better than that.
Yeah, so this, yeah, more action based. I think they took the conviction ending where you kill Lambert, or not conviction. They took the double agent ending where you killed Lambert and made it canon. They, so basically, Third Echelon, which is the company you had been working for, and the rest of the series has been disbanded. You are now part of Fourth Echelon, and basically the bad guys in this one are what's left of Third Echelon.
I think in this one you're not Fourth Echelon yet. I think you're still like.
Is it formed by the end? Maybe
It's a form of the end because that's what you start in the next one is Fourth Echelon because Sam Fisher is like the leader, isn't he? The de facto leader of it.
I still need to play that. What is that, Blacklist? I still need to play Blacklist.
I played a little bit of it. We'll talk about it when we get there.
Talk about it when we get there in a few years.
Yeah, get there.
At this point, like you're like semi-retired because at this point, like Nick said, the Lambert ending is canon, so you did kill him to keep your identity safe to stay in the organization.
It's a damn shame. Sam would have never done that.
I think at this point as well, spoiler alert, of course, I believe you find out that Sam's daughter is still alive.
Yes, so in Double Agent, the whole thing that drives the plot is that he's willing to go undercover because his daughter was killed by a drunk driver. And then you find out, like, oh, in this game, you're like, Sam, your daughter's alive. It's like, it's one of those things you're like, really? Okay, guys, I guess. The part of this game, and another spoiler, part of this game I remember is the end when you are dragged into the Oval Office by the bad guy. You're surrounded by people, and it has you set up a mark and execute, and you pull it off beautifully, and then you have to escape the White House.
And I think at that point, it's like he's the bad guy is the current leader of Third Echelon, isn't it?
Yeah. Because at the beginning, he's sending you out on stuff, and by the halfway point, you're like, oh, shit, are we the baddies?
We are the baddies.
I think this is a great game because, I mean, it took Splinter Cell into a new area, made it more action-oriented. Because a lot of people did, like, as good as those first 4 games were, a lot of people did complain about the speed. I think they got the speed just right. I just wish there was more variety. Like, I think Double Agent had a really good mission variety. And then you get here, and they're like, let's just take all the action parts.
No, this was the last one, wasn't it?
Blacklist was right after this. Like 2 or 3 years later. But like we said earlier, we'll get to that one eventually. Splinter Cell Conviction, what a game. The multiplayer, take it or leave it. I think Double Agent and Conspiracy Theory, Chaos Theory had the best ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gave us Old Man Sam as a meme.
So I still think it's a great game.
Yeah, it's a great game. It's not a great Splinter Cell.
No, but for what going from Double Agent to this, I think it was probably one of the best moves they could make for sure. Because Double Agent definitely did have some it was a little slower. It wasn't as slow in my opinion as like Chaos Theory or Pandora Tomorrow, but still a little slow. Where this, I mean, I think it picked up the pace and added to the story. The only thing I wish they would have done better was a little bit of the plot. I mean, just a little bit with the whole your daughter's still alive.
They went full fucking born with it. Anything else on Conviction, boys?
Nope. I got nothing.
Give it a try.
Give it a try. I'm sure it's out there and it's cheap. It's dirt cheap. 12-year-old game at this point. All right, up next, we've got May 11th. The third Skate game came out, Skate 3. This is from EA. I think it's Black Box Studios who did this.
Yeah, Black Box, yeah.
R.I.P. Black Box, I think.
I believe you're correct on that.
So this game, oh yeah, there they are.
Yeah, 2013.
This game is the reason that you still hear people bitching and moaning about Skate 4. And I actually did play this game because I think it was a Games with Gold game at a certain point.
It was.
For those who don't know, Tony Hawk lifted the ceiling with skateboard games. It was very arcadey. You could do all these crazy tricks. And then EA in the aughts, and then later on, and then 2010 being the end of that, was like, hey, what if we made a skate video game where all of your motions and all of your all your tricks were done with the 2D pads? And you'd think that'd be a mess, but it actually played really freaking good. I don't think it's aged well graphic wise, being 12 years old at this point. But I think it paved the way, because like now there's like all these skate simulators you see on Steam. I forget what, I think I played Sessions a few months ago, and they're great. And those wouldn't have happened if skate hadn't happened.
No, I would say Tony Hawk introduced the world to. I mean, obviously there we had like Tony Hawk famous skaters and all that, but I believed to the world Tony Hawk introduced skating, and skate introduced the passion of skating.
So that
I mean,
go ahead, Jake.
I was gonna say Tony Hawk games are still being made till this day.
No, I'm not saying that they've not being made. What I'm saying is Tony Hawk is what introduced it, because obviously not everybody was into skating. Like skating was a thing, but not as well known. Then you had the X Games and Tony Hawk, and it started to pick up pace. I think skate just showed like the passion that can go into skating. Like,
I think skating is well known because it had its scene. Like you had zines, you had the videos back in the 80s and 90s,
right?
But it brought it to the mainstream, is what you're saying.
Yes, okay, that's what I'm trying to go for.
It made like people who like might have like been suburbanites, like just living at their home, like, oh wait, people really skateboard? Now they found out really quick that people don't do fucking kick flips into 50-50 grinds into fucking nollie 360 spins. They found that out real quick. But I mean, hell, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater made way for what was there? There was a surfing game, there was a biking game. I'm sure there was an inline game like that. And then eventually EA was like, this is back when EA was taking risks. They're not taking risks right now. And they were like, hey, like people like this skateboarding stuff. What if we came in and did this? And this was at the time when the Tony Hawk series was faltering. Like I think the first one came out right around the time of Project 8.
I think you're correct on that. But I was just going to say, at this point, we're like one fantastic skateboarding game away from getting a skateboarding movie starring Vin Diesel and Dwayne Johnson. I'm telling you,
you stop that right now. You stop that right now. The thing that baffles me about the Skate series is that EA is so hush about 4. Like, I think they recently said more Skate is coming, but they won't say that it's Skate 4. I think they're like trying to do a mobile one, which I'm sure you can pull off in this day and age, but like EA, like fuck, man, come on. You are choking everything else out, like BioWare.
Battlefield.
The one shining light you have right now is Respawn, and I'm sure you're going to choke them out. Like, people want
Stick abuse call away from it.
People want Titanfall 3, and guess what's not happening? Titanfall 3. They've now become, you know what Respawn did? They gave Respawn something to do, and Respawn fucking delivered, and now Respawn's doing everything. And you know what you're supposed to do when someone gives you additional things to do? You fuck it up so they don't ask you to do it anymore.
Yeah, they're asked for a raise.
Like, hey, do Star Wars. Just deliver a shit game. They're not asking the Battlefield guys to do Star Wars anymore. They're like, hey, let's make microtransaction the shit out of this, and we can just do Battlefield the whole time. We don't have to fuck with this Battlefront shit anymore.
Well, going back to your mobile games, I'm starting to lose faith in that. I mean, look at Immortals.
Oh, Diablo.
Look at so much. I mean, don't get me wrong. Obviously, it was going to be shit the minute they said there was microtransactions.
EA needs Activision right now to be shit so they can clean up their mess, because EA is going through. They're losing the FIFA rights. Madden's still selling, but like everything else is shit. I honestly think the only thing EA's got going right now is Apex and Madden, and to an extent FIFA, but it won't be called FIFA anymore.
But they're bound to fuck that up at some point.
Oh,
You cannot rely on your free to play game forever. It's not going to be a reputable source of income at that point. You're going to have to do something. You're going to have to take
I
that
could
risk.
rely on him.
I'm so mad. I'm so mad. Are we done with Skate, guys?
Yes, we're done with Skate.
Yeah, fuck that game.
Damn, Jake, tell them how you really feel. Someone from Black Box is listening right now, and Billy Madison, the guy with the list and the makeup. He just put Jakey Boy Kaufman down. So I'm gonna get that fucker.
Is Black Box? Are they still out? Are they like? Is there RIP?
They're gone.
Oh yeah. They can't afford to listen to our podcast.
We're free, so that's deep.
No,
All right.
they don't have a phone.
So we got a double banger here on May 18th. Damn, talk about bad luck for Remedy, but I mean it circled back for him. So May 18th we've got Alan Wake from Remedy, and then from Rockstar we've got Red Dead Redemption. We're gonna start with Alan Wake though. Because you can't really talk about one without the other. It's kind of like Horizon with Zelda with Breath of the Wild. Like those coming out so close together. Like those games are forever entwined. It's just like Moonlight and La La Land are forever entwined because of that bullshit that happened at the Oscars. Alan Wake, it's the game we're going to be doing a speed run about, and it is the plot is convoluted. It's inspired by like the mystery novels of like Stephen King and all those folks back in the 80s and 90s. Third person action, linear. It originally started as an open world game though, and then Remedy couldn't make it work, so they were like, okay, we gotta. I think it took them like 2 or 3 years to dumb it down to this. The enemies, like these shadow guys, you shine a flashlight on them to like weaken them, and then once they're weakened, you can shoot them with bullets. Bullets kill. Who knew? I played this before I played Red Dead Redemption, and I loved this. I think it's a great game. I think Remedy's third-person action is some of the best. I thought this back when this came out. This is them coming right off of Max Payne stuff. I love that Deluxe 345 is getting free ad space right now.
Yeah, that's my bad. I just quickly go through the videos to find ones that aren't talking, so my bad.
It's all good. And you know what? This game's finally getting a sequel, and it's actually being labeled completely different. It's being labeled as a horror game. Oh, I forgot about the Flare. Sorry. Flare surprised me.
Let's be honest. I think if they would have done this one as a horror, like strictly horror, I think it would have been much better. Like, I still enjoy it like you. I definitely played this before I did Red Dead. So I enjoyed it. But I felt like it was just too actiony. It needed more of a horror aspect.
So it's got the atmosphere. It's got the collectibles with like your manuscript pages being everywhere. I think the gun variety is very good. I liked Alan as a character. I like the characters around him as well. It's just
Barry's my favorite.
Barry is his agent, right?
His agent, yeah.
Okay, I was reading about him earlier. I was like, wait, who the fuck is Barry again? I think it has the problem that a lot of Remedy games has, is that it's very linear. Like you see this path right here that he's following as like the tornado destroys the bridge. Like it just feels like it's guiding you down a path. Like I think I would have liked their open world version of this better, and you can kind of see little breadcrumbs of it because some of the areas are huge.
Oh, yeah, you get lost easily if you're not paying attention.
But I think this is one of the first linear games I can think of where like you're standing like in a spot, and like in that spot you can see where you need to go. It's like a fucking mountain range like in the yonder, and like it feels like it's miles away, but then you fall off a bridge and you get there. It's the game that is constantly doing that, and Remedy has done it, I think, in the next 2 games after that. So I remember seeing it in what was their next one, Quantum Break.
Yep.
Which when we get to that one, I'm a fanboy like a motherfucker because people hate that one.
It's good though.
It's my favorite. You guys have anything to add? I could talk about Alan Wake all day.
I don't know, man. I never really played it. It looked interesting. And I like when I hear that it's in the other games, the same universe as like Quantum Break and Control. It makes you want to like see why they're connected or how they're connected. Is his last name Wake?
Yeah,
that's his actual name. Yeah, and so to add on to what Jake just said, I think that's what makes it go to their next game worth it, because in each game they'll have like the little Nick, help me out here. What's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know what's the word you're looking for, Josh. Let's find it.
Yeah,
Let's find it.
I'm confused.
It's the where you have like things in the background, little secrets,
Easter eggs, continuity.
Easter eggs.
Easter eggs.
Thank you. Like Easter eggs to them and everything. And I think with Control they did a really good job of like finally hitting it home that hey, it's basically all in the same universe. Like how great! Like it makes you want to go back and play to see if they did any continuity within their games to make it, follow through.
I need to play Control. I got it for free on Epic Game Store, and it's just been sitting there.
The only thing I had not done is played the DLC.
Now the DLC, I remember the DLC for this game being Alan Wake being really good and continuing the story.
Yeah, it's like they leave it off. Like, so if you don't get the DLC, they leave it off on like a decent note, but the DLCs add on to it and just make it so much better.
And then they did a game in 2012. I don't think we'll talk about it because I don't think it'll make our list, but they did like American Nightmare, which I think was like a horde based game or something like that.
Yeah, to an extent, I think that's correct, and it's also just a spin-off, so it's not like.
I knew it wasn't like a true sequel, so my stingy ass, like my nose is in the air. I was like, I'm not playing it. I'm not doing it. Not doing it.
Not doing it.
Not doing it. All right, let's talk about the other game that came out the same day that just buried this fucking game, and it's great. I think there's like a podcast episode that can be done about games that were buried by a game that came out the same day or like within its window. I think there's enough
a lot.
stuff there.
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption from Rockstar. So this is hot. This was hot off of Grand Theft Auto 4. This same day and date. I don't know. I feel like the build up to this game, no one was. I feel like people were talking about it, but it was just your normal coverage. It wasn't like, oh, this is the holy grail. Oh, no, like no heavy praise.
No, so I feel like this was like, in my opinion at least, this was Witcher 2 compared to Witcher 3.
Yeah, I could see that because the game before this, so they already had the Red Dead license well before this, and I think it was called Red Dead Revolver. It was a first-person shooter, came out on the Xbox and PlayStation 2, if I'm remembering correctly. It was just okay. It was just okay. So then this comes out, and people see the Red Dead name, and they're like, oh, they're gonna try and do their cowboy shit, and then it comes out, and people are like, we like John Marston. John Marston is our kind of stuff.
I just remember when this came out, people were losing their fucking marbles over it.
Yeah, people were like, Alan who? Who's awake? Who's awake?
You don't own Red Dead Redemption? What is wrong with you, peasant?
I played so much poker in this game.
And that's why you have a gambling problem.
That's why I have a gambling addiction. Thanks, Red Dead Redemption. You're awesome. I didn't whore around in this game. I did like taking my lasso while I was on a horse and lassoing somebody. That was always fun. The story was compelling. The characters are great, but I mean, it's a Rockstar game, so I don't really have to tell you that. The first time you ride into Mexico and the story changes, or the music changes, and they start playing like the light guitars, oh my god, and the map is huge. So the map is huge. And then the end, people talk about the ending, where I think that's really one of the things that really stands out about this game is the ending. Because so for those who are allergic to spoilers, go ahead and cover your ears. John Marston dies at the end, so he's paid his debts to society, he's paid his debts to the government, and then at the end the government comes for him and says, oh shit, we're gonna kill you anyway, while his family's in the barn or riding, like he gets his family to run. And this is so just like Splinter Cell, this game has, I think it's called Deadeye mode, where you scan over them, but instead of like automatically targeting them, you pick the spot where you target them, you hit, and then once you've used all of them up, it'll go and fire all your shots. It sets you up to do that, and if you played Splinter Cell, your brain was probably in the same place mine was, like, I'm gonna win this because of this. No, not at all. You shoot a few guys, but then everyone else you're just getting blasted by shells, by bullets, and you're a bloody mess by the end. But then the game doesn't stop there. You play as your son like 10 years later. Jake's face, I love it. You play as your son 10 years later, and you're looking for the guy who orchestrated that. And you basically, the last mission is you hunting this man down, who's an old man now, by the way. It's a beautiful story about revenge. I think The Last of Us 2, those guys probably like kind of had that ending in mind as they were doing Last of Us 2. I know Last of Us 1 was still a few years off, but they probably were like, yeah, remember Red Dead Redemption? Remember that ending? What if we did that in Seattle for a whole game?
It's so right.
What do you guys think? And then all the yes men were like, yep. Neil Drucker, we got you. Yep.
You had one guy like stand up and just go,
you have a gift.
Just clap.
And one guy was like, I don't think we can do it. And Neil Drucker fucking stabbed him.
Threw him out the window.
He's like, you get the fuck out of here. You're fired. Oh, I forgot about the duels. So here's, if you're watching the video mode, here's that mode I was talking about.
That quick draw mode, I think is what it's called.
And so they have you do that at the end of the game, and you think, oh, I've got this win, but you don't.
Oh, and let's not... Okay, so then that's just single player. You got to also include the multiplayer, which obviously had very basic modes. You had your death match, capture the flag, your character customization. But if I remember correctly, I believe whoever was on the winning team, your character would execute the losing team.
Oh, shit.
If I remember correctly. I think I could be wrong. I think it may have been one specific game mode. But because I never really got into the multiplayer. Like, I played it a couple of times, but I mainly played the single player. And I also did, of course, the DLC,
DLC was only
What's-
multiplayer stuff, and then the Red Dead,
I meant the
Undead, the
the
Undead one.
undead.
Yeah,
Technically, I know it's a standalone, but I consider that DLC
it's
because
still
it's basically.
hella good.
Oh, it was so good. Like that was by far. If I had to pick any standalone DLC game ever, I would say that was by far my favorite. And I wish they would do it for Red Dead 2.
You mean the zombie one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would think
What
they
reminds
would,
me,
but Rockstar's not on
you guys
that DLC shit.
remember
anymore.
that game on Xbox, Gun?
Yes. This is what Gun should have been, but Gun failed to do.
Gun was fun though. Gun had
It was fun.
had some
It
good,
was.
no pun intended. It had some good gunplay. It was in the name.
My only, and I keep bringing this up, I know this is the second time I brought it up in this podcast. So I remember buying it for the 360. They had achievements. They had the typical beat the game on this mode. I did it on the hardest mode. Typically, you beat it on the hardest mode, you get every single difficulty achievement, right? Not with Gun. You literally have to go back and play every single difficulty to unlock the achievement.
Timeout on the field. So this was one of the first 360 games, one of the first time achievements were being implemented, and early games like that only had like 12 achievements. So I don't feel bad for you.
That game had more than 12 achievements. I think it had like 25.
Okay, but it didn't have like the standard. What was the standard? Like 40 or 50?
I think it was 50 was the standard for regular games, and then arcades was 12, I think.
12. So I don't feel bad for you, sir. You can
Well,
go.
you should
Yeah.
You
feel
can
bad
go
for me.
back through Gun and play every other difficulty.
I will never.
The hardest one you can't beat. There's no way.
I did beat
It's
on the
tough.
hardest mode.
It's tough.
That boss fight gets me every time.
Anything else on Red Dead or Alan Wake? I just think it's. I love that these games are forever connected. I think Alan Wake has surpassed Red Dead now when it comes to the zeitgeist. At least this first one. I think Red Dead Redemption 2 is sticking around a little longer than this one. But people still
going
talk
on?
about that Marston ending. Like that.
Yeah, that
shook
for
people.
sure.
People were shooketh.
That for sure will stick, but I will say it's going on for almost 5 years now. In Red Dead 2, people are still gripping on with death claws.
Wait. Oh, okay.
Wait.
That you were making a pun there. I thought like someone modded
Yeah,
death
I was
claws into
like,
the
wait,
game.
there's a Deathclaw mod. What?
No,
I'd play a Deathclaw mod. That'd be dope.
I'm sure someone's done that.
So I will say this about the John Marston ending. Anyone who hasn't seen a Western, how the fuck do... like in hindsight, anyone who's seen a Western should have like some idea of like, oh yeah, the main person might die.
Wasn't that basically the ending to Young Guns 2?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you the difference between 1 or 2.
Everybody dies.
If
They all come
Young
back.
Guns, if it's Young Guns 2, shouldn't Young Guns 2 just be called Old Guns because they're older now?
I actually don't remember the plot to it, to be honest.
Whatever.
I would say it's more of like that more modern one that had Chris Pratt where he died.
Chris Pratt died.
Was
in
that Serious 6?
Moneyball?
Serious 7?
No,
No, it's a Western movie.
maybe
With,
it was
um,
Serious 6. Jake.
It
What
was
you-
Magnificent Seven, wasn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, was the 7 of them defend the town from the bandits and shit, and like
Yeah.
all of them die.
I'm sure it's a fun little like turn your brain off and watch like these
Oh,
cowboys
it
go
was.
to war.
It was fun watching Chris Pratt get his brains blown out.
Oh, I don't
Whoa.
understand. I don't understand why people. I get why, because he's got some conservative like background and like has said some shit. I don't understand how it's turned so fast on him though. It was fast. It was fast. Like it was faster than his weight loss. It was fast.
Jesus Christ.
All right,
Agree.
let's finish up. We had to
Moving
pick
on.
something to finish this. Besides the 4 we picked, it was a little dry. I think this one holds some special recognition. June 22nd, my dating anniversary with my wife, by the way. Transformers: War for Cybertron. This was a third-person action Transformers game. You shot and did all that fun stuff. Turned out really good. I think this game is it's got its beefs. People were like, "Man, you're in the same looking areas a lot," and I believe that because you're on Cybertron. But this is taking Josh Deluxe 345 again.
You know what? He gets a shout, all right? Or they get a
Deluxe
shout out.
345, we appreciate you, man. Yeah, let's hook up, play some games, man.
Hook up.
Let's hook up, play some games. That's what the kids say, right? This looks like a lot of fun. It reminds me of Gears of War, but with Transformers, and you can turn into cars. And but this is like a great example of what to do with existing IP, because all the Transformer games before this were booty. And this is also the time where you're starting to see the Batman games get better. So you're starting to see actual IP be taken care of instead of like, oh, hey, go make this game. Go make this Avatar game that will be famous for giving people 1,000 gamer score in 5 minutes. Josh, I know you played that one.
No.
Josh.
What, this one?
No, there was an Avatar game where you could 10,000 or 1,000 point it in 5 minutes with all the
Oh yeah,
achievements.
there's like that one, and there's like
I
a
did.
Turtles game that's exactly the same thing.
I did both those.
Josh
yeah.
knows what you're talking about on both. In both.
I mean, in my defense, for those who don't know, my gamer score was pretty high. I had 150,000, I think, or very relatively close to it. I stopped doing it, but
you know what we used to call
I got
someone who
pretty high.
chased achievements, Josh?
Josh,
You were an achievement whore.
hey, it gave me purpose in life. Okay,
You achievement whore.
and it introduced me to indie games because before then I really wasn't that much into them. Like I played the few that came out with like the summer arcade, but really didn't. But honestly, I would say since I started doing that, I have appreciated indie games a lot more for what they are.
I need to get the make your money whore sound bit in here for this part for you, Josh. There's an episode of Community where they sell their handshake, and like Pierce, who's played by who's the guy that Chevy Chase,
Chevy Chase.
and they sell it, and he's like Patty, or he says someone's name, and like he wanted them to do the handshake, and they're like, and he says it again, and they're like, he looks at him, he's like, make your money whore, and they do it in slow motion, and they Josh, make your money whore, you little achievement whore.
Maybe
Or
one day.
Anything else on Cybertron? I just thought it was big because of the IP.
it's one of the better Transformer games.
I mean, it was good, and I believe its sequel was Fall of Cybertron, which was pretty good too. I mean, obviously, it was very not much different other than maybe the setting and time and all that. But for what they were, it was good. It was a fun time.
I just want to use this time as we end our Cybertron coverage to thank Deluxe 345 for being featured in 2 gameplay videos. Now he's Josh, you just made the man a meme, and I love it.
You're welcome.
We have an inside joke, folks. But I think we might name this episode Deluxe 345. He's not going to get an uptick at all from it. All right, guys. Anything else on Q2 here?
No, I think we go straight into the news.
Dude, it was shit. Besides
Dude,
Red
what the
Dead,
fuck
it was
are you
shit.
talking about Alan Wake? Put some
Tom Clancy,
respect on it.
God damn, Jake.
Tom Clancy is rolling in his grave, Jake.
You uncultured fuck.
Keep rolling.
All right. Before Tom Clancy fucking ghost bitch slaps Jake, what do you guys say we do the news?
Let's do the news. Let's do it.
Read all about it. Latest football scores. Morning paper. Morning Star. Paper, mister?
It's time for old news. News time. All right. So,
Cool.
cool. April 15th, Xbox Live for original Xbox consoles and games discontinued. This seems really fast.
Yeah, that is pretty quick.
It wasn't that long, but I think at the same time they were trying to focus on getting the 360, keep them all running, and at the same time, weren't they at this point working already on the next console?
What was this, 2010? I think they might have still been a year off from that. There might have been hushes
Concepts. Yeah.
Hey, let's do this. Hey, DMR, whatever the shit they were talking about back then.
Let's not forget too, they're also focusing on their current platform because the Kinect.
Yeah,
the Kinect was-
Yeah, the
Kinect,
shit Connect.
too
Don't get me
much
started.
money on that. We'll shit on the Kinect another time. But the thing here is the thing that reminds me that I'm reminded of about this is because the Halo 2 players who just kept going until I think like if you kept your Xbox on and kept playing, you were fine. But the moment like if your power went out or the console cut off or whatever, you were out. So people just kept playing Halo 2 together, and that was nice. I think I would like to see a documentary about those guys. Real sweet moment considering that you can't really. I mean, I guess you could kind of play Halo 2 and through Master Chief Collection online.
Well, they also had the PC version that I know it's not the same. I know,
It's
but
not the same. Like that was a whole. It's just it sucks because you lose a piece of that history. Like Halo 2 Online is the whole reason we have everything that we have today.
No, I agree, 100% agree.
PlayStation wasn't doing anything. They were PlayStation, much like they are now with Game Pass, are head in the sand, trying to chase something with their head in the sand. But RIP to those players, and wherever you are, hold your lovers close, and thank you.
We remember.
We would like to take this time to remember the Halo 2 players that kept the server going just a little bit longer. April 20th to the 23rd, Captivate, Capcom's annual trade show held in Honolulu. My God, I love that these trade shows like travel to like these nice like islands, these nice places, just so all these suits can like rub elbows in this nice place.
Yeah, for those who don't know, at this point, at least with E3 being a really huge, expo, of course, these things were mainly there not only for their big wigs to be able to bump elbows, but really they were just there to kind of like flex their stuff before the big show. Like, hey guys, here's just a little taste of what's coming this year or coming up soon.
You guys like Street Fighter 4? Do you want to see it in 3D in a handheld?
Yeah. Or do you want to see a Resident Evil, possibly a new one come out? Maybe you should just stick around.
Would this would have been them getting ready for 6, right?
No, this is Revelations.
Oh shit! I always forget about Revelations. Anything that doesn't have a number on it, including Code Veronica. I'm just like, what else you got? That's why when they skipped the Code Veronica X remake, I was like, that's okay. That's okay.
I still kind of want a Code Veronica remake.
Yeah, when they announced 4 remake and everyone's questioning, where's Code Veronica? They're just like,
I want my Claire.
suck it.
I want my Claire. You already have her, and you already have your Chris at this point. Give me my Resident Evil Veronica X.
The gamers are pissed. Everybody hide.
Dude, they just seem to come with new characters, man. I'm tired of seeing the Redfields and the Leon Kennedys and
the Redfields are the fucking Skywalkers of Raccoon City.
If you see new characters, go watch the latest Resident Evil movie.
No, don't get me started on that either.
Wait, did Chris and Claire ever kiss? They're still the Skywalkers of Raccoon City. I don't care.
That was a deleted scene.
Capcom was like, we can't do this. We can't do this. May 4th through the 7th, the Humble Indie Bundle. That is now the Humble Bundle. An experiment into indie charitable cross-platform DRM-free digital game distribution is first released to great success, and it's still around.
I mean, do you need, like, for those who are like, are they still? It's like, yeah, come on, you can go on there and buy games all the time. You know that they succeeded in what they were doing.
For those who
don't, bastards.
For those who don't really know what the Humble Bundle is, Josh, can you do a quick like layman's term, like?
So basically, they have like charitable causes. Like, for example, when the Ukraine war started, they had a whole bundle. I think it was like, what, Nick, 70 games or something?
Yeah, it was a lot of games, yeah.
70 games, and it was like, okay, you spend like $30 on these 70 games. And you got all the codes for them. Even if you already had them, you can give them to your friends who may not have it and stuff. So, like, it was a great value, and all the donations received went to that cause. But they have, like, several of them. And then if you're not looking into that, they even have a thing where they have the free game of the month, where if you pay for a subscription, you get that free game.
Yeah, and the subscription, like, they do a new bundle every month. There's like, 12 games a month or something like that.
Usually something like that,
You get the codes, and you can give them to your friends. They're not stingy about it.
No, they're like, it's yours.
I've never had a bundle, but I've had people give me games that I've never played from bundles.
Yeah, same.
A few of them. I've got a few of the bundles, and I've ended up keeping either all the games because I didn't have them, or I ended up giving them all out to people.
I think TK gave me a Civilization game through that. I think it's still cool that it happens. I think some of their luster has been lost with like Game Pass now.
Yeah,
but it's still a cool thing, and a lot of them being charitable is still awesome. June 15th through the 17th, E3 2010. We got a cute little link here. We're going to click this cute little link. Come here.
Cute.
For those not aware, that link just takes you to the Wikipedia page that's nice enough to not only list all the games that they talked about, but based on which company in alphabetical order.
So, okay, oh my God, The Last Guardian. That didn't come out for years. That was a PS4 game.
Yeah.
Oh my god. We're
The
just gonna,
Last Guardian.
we're just gonna hit whatever comes to my mind from this. So let's see. Skyward Sword for the Wii, Ocarina of Time 3D for the 3DS. I got that. That was actually hard to get for a while, and was like a game that was scalped to hell and high water. This is also the E3 with the Kinect, and I believe Milo, the freaky little AI boy. And I think I read a rumor that didn't actually function. I think they actually had somebody reading for Milo.
That sounds about right.
I think I read that it was like a Game Scoop like rumors thing. So I don't know if there's any brevity to that, but that sounds right because there was never anything that advanced when the Kinect came out. People were playing that fucking kiddie Star Wars game.
Yeah. I mean, Gears of War 3, Halo Reach, Infamous 2, Killzone 3, Little Big Planet 2.
Timeout. First of all, Snake Eater came to the 3DS. Love it. Second of all, there was a Saw 2 video game.
There was a Saw.
Not
Just
one,
this.
two.
There's just the fact that there's a Saw video game.
Human Revolution. Josh got his rocks off to that one. Arkham City.
I did.
This is a pretty good E3. This is not bad.
No, they introduced Batman Arkham City, Fear 3.
Let me read off Microsoft's. I think this is a pretty good one, minus the Kinect stuff. Their Kinect stuff sucked. Fable 3, Gears of War 3, Halo Reach. Those are your three right there.
No, that's all you needed. That basic Microsoft dominated that.
That you just need those three. You know what? Microsoft can't even do that now. They don't have their big three anymore. It's sad.
No.
It's sad.
And honestly, from there, I'd almost have to give it to 2K Games at that point. For the second follow-up, in my opinion.
So for those listening, 2K Games had Mafia 2, Sid Meier's Civilization 5, Spec Ops: The Line, which is goddamn good, and XCOM, which we didn't know what we were getting into with that. We didn't know what it was going to do.
Argent Clean.
For the Rage Clan. RIP. Oh boy. All right. That is the news. Jake, do you know what time it is?
Wait, do you have the noise? Let me hear it.
Well, I'm not going to play it in the show.
Oh.
Oh.
Me.
Time.
I didn't know you edited.
Yeah, Jake, I edited it in.
I thought you just record and slap it on the
Because
upload.
if I hit Jake, if I did that right now, you wouldn't hear it.
Nick slaps the hood of it and goes, "This bad boy sells itself."
All right, Jake, what's the meme we got here today?
Well, the meme we got here, shut up and take my wolf pelts.
So for those
That's
go ahead, Jake. Go ahead.
Oh, I don't honestly, I don't know his name.
Okay, so
Right.
Fry from Futurama. It's the shut up and take my
Oh.
money, but it's Fry dressed as John Marston from Red Dead Redemption, holding a wolf pelt and saying, "Shut up and take my wolf pelts."
Well, I mean, I knew it was Fry. I just didn't know it was John.
John Marston, killed in 1898 at gunpoint by the U.S. government. Spoiler alert. Jake, it's a good meme.
For that.
It's a solid meme, Jake. Good work. All right, we are
Yes.
going to take a quick break, but when we come back, I am going to do a speed cap of Alan Wake. I've got 5 minutes to get through Bright Falls. We'll see if I can do it right after this. Hey everybody, we are back. It is speed cap time. I am doing Alan Wake from 2010 from Remedy Studios. Great little cult classic. 5 minutes to get through it all. Josh has the score sheet. There'll be a PDF of the unmarked sheet up in the show notes, so you can play along. Don't do it while you're driving, because that is dangerous and stupid, and you do not need to do that. All right, so I am controlling my own timer. I don't know if I'm going to need the full 5 minutes for this one, Josh.
No, I mean, as long as you know the main plot, I mean, really, you'll get a majority of it. For those who don't know, Nick is trying to go for 35 points. If he gets more than 35 points, he'll pick the next game for me to speed cap. Otherwise, if not, I get to pick.
And I'll decide that in the next show, because next show is a quiz, and I'll decide it after.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to hit the button. When it's at 5, I will start my speed cap. Good luck, everybody. Here we go.
Good luck to you.
Godspeed.
Okay, so Alan Wake takes place. Alan and his wife Alice go to this lake house in this town called Bright Falls. Alan is there because he has writer's block. He hasn't been able to write a book in like 2 years. He's an author. Alice disappears, and Alan can't find her anywhere. He's asking locals, and she's gone. She's fucking gone. And there's this evil presence called the Dark Presence that's haunting Alan, and it's possessing things around him. It's possessing people. I think the guy that rents out the lake house to him, I think his name is like Stucky, and that's like a major boss. And Stucky's like bugging you throughout this whole level, and you eventually kill him. And I think it's like a log yard. But you shine your light on people to hurt them, and then once like the darkness is off of them, you kill them, which is kind of dark. Cause it's like, are you still evil, or am I just shooting like the town folks now? I don't know. Fuck you, you're a townie. So anyway, first night, Alan escapes. He like gets into a car accident somehow. He's been unconscious for a week. His agent gets there, Barry. I think Barry's like the comedic relief. He's like, hey, you're my star, baby. What are you doing here? We got to get out of this town. This shit's crazy. Alan tries to tell the police chief. I forget her name. She's the lady police chief, though. And she doesn't believe him. She's like, this fucking author's drunk. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. But shit fucking ramps up. Alan finds out that this dark presence is using the manuscript for this book that he wrote called The Departure. But he doesn't fucking remember writing it. So he's so up his own ass, he doesn't remember writing this book. But this darkness is using this book to fucking make things happen around him. And that includes like possessing like machinery and like other things around the town. There's a fucking tornado that rips through the town, and like there's a lighthouse. Barry and Alan get drunk in the cabin for some reason. I remember reading that, like, wait, all this shit's going on, you guys get drunk in the cabin? What the fuck is that about? Alan wakes up. There was another author, I think he was a poet. I forget his fucking name. Oh no, I just had it. I just saw it. It was like Maxwell. It was Zane. It was Zane, something Zane. Thomas Zane or something Zane. And he's dressed like a diver, and that's because so the police chief was like, wait, you're staying at the cabin on the lake? The cabin on the lake haven't been there for years. There was a volcanic eruption years ago. Turns out that Zane guy was being haunted by the dark presence, dove down and caused the volcano to erupt to put the darkness to sleep. Darkness is back, feeding off of Alan's old book that he wrote that he doesn't remember writing. So Alan, and this dark presence takes the form of like an old woman that you saw earlier in the game. So Alan, he's going to fight it. He's trying to escape it. The last line of the game, he says, it's not a lake, it's an ocean. There's 2 DLCs. I think one's called The Signal, another one's called The Rider. There's an evil version of Alan, which is like the version of Alan that is very finicky, very nervous. I think has his name Mr. Shaky, or he's got a name. Mr. Sketch, it's gonna come to it's Mr. Scratch. It's Mr. Scratch because he's the nervous anxiety side of Alan, and Alan's fighting to get away from him. And in the end of The Signal, Mr. Scratch attacks Alan with like this big mound of TVs, and Alan ends up beating him. And then in The Rider, Alan has to come to terms with like letting go of everything in his mind and recombining with Mr. Scratch. And he fights through a bunch of enemies. Like the gameplay, there's not a whole lot of plot going on there. You get piecemeal. Turns out Alan Wake is canon within the Controlverse. Alan Wake's actually a character in Control. Alan Wake's getting a sequel. You can pick up pages of the manuscript as collectibles throughout the game. Ooh, indigestion. What else? Your wife, Alice, I think you eventually find her. But Alan, she's found, but then Alan is lost. You can't find Alan. He's gone. And then I think that's it. Let me think. I talked about the flashlight. I talked about combat. I talked about the town. There's that songs in the game that you'll put the lime in the coconut and drink it all up. It plays in a jukebox in the game in one of the cafes. There's 6 chapters. Each one ends with like an awesome like indie song that makes you feel like a hipster, makes you want to go drink coffee at a coffee shop. Alan's got a bitchin' tweed jacket. Stucky, I mentioned Barry, I mentioned the officer, didn't know her name, I mentioned the poet Zane, I mentioned the dark
15.
presence. I'm gonna yield my time.
Nick, you concede your time at 10 seconds?
I concede my time of 10 seconds.
All right. Let me add up the scores. Jake, go ahead and talk to Nick.
Talk to me, Jay.
I don't know anything about this game. I'm sure you did fine. You sound like you're like this game was like your boyfriend at one time. You make me want to drink coffee now because coffee sounds amazing, but I got work in the morning, so I can't drink coffee at the moment.
I just pulled up.
You
the shit,
suck.
And I see a few. The clicker. I should have mentioned the clicker. Oh, I got Zane though. I got Zane. God damn it, I got it. Sorry. Spoiler alerts for those waiting up patiently for the score. I'm sorry. I'm just excited I got that man's name right. Yeah. I do want a coffee too, but it's 10:41 p.m.
That man's name is the father of his child.
Thomas Zane. Zane was an old college roommate. Zane was awesome. Josh, is it taking this long to score this?
Yes, and I'm done.
Josh,
He's in the database, man.
data.
All right, so we're going down the list real quick to make sure there isn't anything we may have missed. So starting us from the very top, Nick didn't mention Remedy Entertainment.
I mentioned Remedy Entertainment. I said it was a Remedy game.
Did he say Remedy?
I said Remedy.
Yep.
All right, we'll give it to him.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Change that score real quick. Anyway,
Thank you.
you did mention Alan Wake. You mentioned he had writer's block. You mentioned the setting Bright Falls, Washington. You mentioned Cauldron Lake, but you did not mention the cabin specifically.
I said he was in a cabin. I said he was
No,
in a
you
cabin.
didn't.
You did not say
Stucky gave him
you-
the key to the cabin.
Well, you're gonna have to find out when you upload it on YouTube, Nick.
All right, screw it. We'll give it to him.
No, come on, man.
I would argue that I said it was a cabin, and because I even said the officer said there was no lake or cabin.
All right,
Rubik
all right.
Raccoon would
I'll have to
hate
fix-
you.
I'm gonna have to fix this either way. Okay, so you did not mention that she was kidnapped. You said that Alice disappears. She's actually drugged into the water. Anyway, besides the point. But I gave you half credit for that, and the fact that you did mention it's a week passes and he doesn't remember what happened. So I give you half credit. You mentioned the shadowy forces attacking Alan. I don't know why I gave you half credit there. That's my fault.
Thank you. Thank you. The board finally sees it my way.
You did mention the diving suit leaving the manuscripts around. You did mention that whatever is written in the manuscripts comes true. You did not mention the shadowy figures' names. They're called the Taken.
You got me on that there, Chief. I did not say taken.
You also did not bring up the fact that at one point Alan is held up at the lodge and basically is told like, "Oh, you're having a psychotic break. You need to rest and do all this."
I completely forgot about the whole Dr. Hartman and him being misled, like him being brought there because of that.
And same thing with After, with Barry helping him escape it. So you didn't bring up those two.
I just knew Barry was there. That's all I knew about Barry.
You mentioned Dark Presence, and I didn't update that. You did mention that it's trapped in Lake Cauldron thanks to Thomas Zane. I'm
so glad I was looking at your face as I was saying the name. I'm like, blah blah Zane, blah blah.
You said Zane, and I put you at half credit, and then you went Thomas Zane. I'm like, dude, really? Come on, I could change that.
Your face is a good tell.
Yes, you did mention it, and for those who don't know, he was in the diving suit, but you don't realize that until that point.
Was the old lady in the lake? Was that Cynthia Weaver?
No, Cynthia Weaver is the one who helped Thomas Zane.
Okay, all right.
She's the one who was basically hid the clicker, which is like the device that will help Alan get
And I completely forgot about saying something about the clicker, but I remember his manuscript makes the clicker functional.
Yeah. You did not mention that Alan completes the departure. That's what ends the game, is he has to go back to the lake and basically finish the departure, the manuscript.
Mm-hmm.
You did mention, I'm actually really shocked you did, but you did mention the final line of the book and of the game, as far as the main game goes, which is, "It's not a lake, it's an ocean."
It's the most famous line in a Remedy game, I'd argue.
You did get the Signal DLC, and you did get the writer. So let me fix the points real quick, since you made me add up a bunch.
Let's go all day. This 5 minutes. I don't need 5 minutes. I could have done that in 3. I could have done it. What we got?
Jesus Christ. So he just barely passed with 37.5.
And you needed 35?
He needed 35 or more.
Oh, well, you gave him points.
I know. Honestly, It's fine. It's not
I
that big
have
of a
to
deal.
I have to advocate for myself. If I'm being mistreated by the board, I'm going to mention I'm being mistreated by the board.
The raccoon would not have let this pass.
For those who don't know, when Jake is keeping score, he's actually Ricky Raccoon.
Well, then know what, Jake?
Rubric.
Rubric
You can be
Raccoon.
Rubric Raccoon when it's my turn.
Yeah.
No, so I'm making the next one.
Yeah, but you got 2 weeks before that, so it's not like
Yeah,
we're doing
you
it
got-
right this second.
You got some time there, Chief. I did it.
Oh,
I get to
okay.
pick Josh's Speedcap game in 2 weeks. It's going to be a fun one.
What's the game?
Well, we'll
I'll
pick it then.
weeks.
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
okay. Damn it.
No, we'll pick it next week.
Yeah, I'll pick it next week, but you won't do it for. It won't be until.
We'll
two
have it for 2
episodes
weeks,
from now.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. That is smashing game time. As always, rate and review us. Spotify, like Josh said, listen to us on Spotify and then rate and review us. You can do it on Apple, Google, wherever. We appreciate it. It's the best way to support the show, and it's free. As always, thank you to Alex Marvin Clark for his awesome song, Hunt 'Em Down, that we use for our intro and outro. You can find me at Nick Fat Knight on Twitch. On Twitter, I am at That Kaufman. Jake, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube at Jakey Boy Kaufman, and you can find me at Juke GG if you're interested in that stuff.
GG, what is that?
It's like an esports related social media that's kind of new.
Oh, you esports kids. Josh, where can the
Yeah.
people find you?
Find me at Twitter at I am Josh Saying, and you can find me on Twitch at I'm Josh Saying.
What is he saying?
I hate
Find
this-
out by
Find out
following.
then. I hate the disparity between those.
I'm
two.
on.
And as always, Smashing Game Time. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on YouTube. We are new on TikTok. We've got a video up. We got to get a few more up. We got to get
Working
into
on
that TikTok algorithm. We gonna get that magic going. As always, folks, this has been Smashing Game Time. We hope you guys had a smashing great time. And we'll see you next time when we do 2010 Q3. Bye, guys.
Yeah, that's it. We end it.